Is Node.js a language? Well, I have seen people are often saying like this. By the way, Node.js is not a language. Then what is it? This is what we are going to learn in this video, okay? So I will start from the very basic. Like I'll start from what is JavaScript engine, what is JavaScript runtime, how JavaScript code can be executed behind the scene. Then we will see like where is JavaScript engine. Then we'll talk about browser evolution. Then we will see an observation. Then we will see how that observation was implemented. Then we will talk about what is Node.js, architecture of it, what are the components that Node.js has. Then we will talk some important key points, and at the end we will talk about npm registry. Hi there, this is Gaurav. Welcome back with another video. Without wasting any further time, let's go ahead and jump right in. I will come to Node later. Before that, let us see few important and basic things, and slowly we will be moving towards Node. So here you can see a piece of code I am showing. It is written in JavaScript, completely in JavaScript. Here is just a simple function. You can see sum of number, which is adding to number, okay? And at the bottom you can see it is showing the result. It is showing like sum of two number is 7. So here is my question. So my question is like how this JavaScript code and where this JavaScript code is basically going to be executed. Okay, that's my question. It cannot be executed in the air, right? So there should be some environment, some space where this code will be executed. That's my question. So there are basically certain stage I would say. Let us understand one by one. So the first step is called parsing. So there is something called parser. Parser is something which knows all the syntactical rule for the JavaScript code. So it will basically scan your code, and if there is any syntactical error, like if you have done any syntactical mistake, then it will give you an error, okay? But if everything is fine, like if there is no syntactical error, in that case it will create something called abstract syntax tree. It is nothing but a data structure, okay? And then it will hand over this data structure for compilation. In compilation, like it is using something called just-in-time compiler. It is not a pure compiler and not a pure interpreter. It is in between both, okay? I will create a separate video for that. What compilation will do, compilation will convert this high level language to machine code, right? Because machine code is nothing but 0 and 1, because computer will only understand 0 and 1, nothing else, right? So that's why we have to convert in that way. And at the end, this machine code, that is nothing but the 0 1, this information will be processed by processor, okay? So thus my code will be executed through the help of processor, and at the end we will get the result, like sum of two number is 7, okay? So this entire thing is basically called as JavaScript engine. So JavaScript engine is part of JavaScript runtime, okay? So JavaScript engine or runtime is what, where my JavaScript code is basically running or can be executed. So from here we have learned something called JavaScript engine. Please keep this word in your mind, okay? JavaScript was created in September 1995, and it was created in such a way that it can run only inside browser, okay? I am talking about the time in between 1995 to 2008. In this time, JavaScript can run only in the browser, okay? So in that case, my next question would be like, where is JavaScript engine basically? See, JavaScript code can only run in the browser, right? So obviously this runtime, like this JavaScript engine, will be there within the browser, somewhere within the browser. Yes. So JavaScript engine is there inside the browser. Let us now discuss about a browser evolution, or I will call it as a browser war, okay? So what happened, like after that, a number of companies, they were started coming up with their own browser. Like in 1994, the first browser to support JavaScript was Netscape. After that, in 1995, Internet Explorer made its debut as Microsoft's first web browser. Then in 2003, we had Apple's Safari. In 2004, Mozilla has launched Firefox. So a number of browsers that were started coming up, and you can see in all the browser there is something inside it called JavaScript engine. Then in 2008, something called Google Chrome appeared. I guess like almost we all are using Google Chrome as our primary browser, right? So it has something special in it, some kind of different algorithm. So you can say like the JavaScript engine that I'm showing in a different color. That means it has, like, the JavaScript engine has something special in it, like some different kind of algorithm in it. The JavaScript engine which is there inside the Google Chrome, it is quite powerful than the other JavaScript engine. And that is why it was a very popular and powerful web browser. And because of that, Google Chrome won the browser war. So the JavaScript engine which is there inside Google Chrome, it is called as a V8 engine. Okay, just keep this word in your mind. We are going to use it later. It is in 2008. Also parallelly, we were getting JavaScript version update like ES1 in 1997, ES2 1998, and ECMAScript 5 in 2009. So ECMAScript 5 was a quite big update, and if you know ECMAScript 5, then you can say like, I know basic of JavaScript. Okay, so you can see in the left hand side we had a powerful popular web browser and a powerful JavaScript engine. In the right hand side we have a version update, that is ES5. So there was an innovative brilliant mind called Rendell. So what he observed, like he was thinking like, we're not utilizing JavaScript language properly. See, because we can run it only inside the browser, right? And because of lot of updates, like this language JavaScript was becoming very popular at that time. So we are not basically utilizing all the features of JavaScript. So why can't we use it outside the browser? So that's the observation he had made. After that, he got an idea. So let us see what is that. So then he thought like, we need something called JavaScript engine, right? Where we can run our JavaScript. So why can't we pull that JavaScript engine out from the browser into a different context outside the browser, right? So that's what he has done. Like he pulled out that JavaScript engine, okay, to outside the browser. So after that, there was a problem like which JavaScript engine we should choose, because each browser has their own JavaScript engine. Like for Google Chrome, we have something called V8 engine. For Firefox, there was something called SpiderMonkey. For Internet Explorer, Chakra, and so many. So what do you think? Which one is the right option? Obviously V8 engine, because earlier I told you Google Chrome has something in it, something special in V8 engine, like in JavaScript engine, and that is why it was so powerful and popular. So what he has done is just pull out the V8 engine from Google Chrome and put it outside the browser in a different context. Okay, so only with this V8 engine it will not be enough. We need something extra. Let us see. At the bottom we have LIVUV with Google V8 engine. So you can see LIVUV written in C. So C language means which is hardware friendly. So it is used to like it helps to interact with hardware. So I will tell about it in details later. So on the top of it, like in the middle, we have something called Node.js binding, which is written in C++. On the top of it, we have Node core libraries written in JavaScript. So this entire stack, this entire thing, this entire context is called Node.js. Okay. So what do you think? Node.js is a language? It's not a language. It's a kind of runtime, I would say, where my JavaScript code can run. So let us see all the component one by one. So at the bottom, we have something called Google V8 engine with LIVUV. So it forms the layer that interacts with the underlying computer system to support the execution of JavaScript programs. Okay. And on the top of it, we have something called Node.js binding. Node.js binding are series of methods that can be used in Node.js code, which are in reality just running C++ code behind the scene. Let me give you one example, like HTTP, file system, and so on. Like reading a file from disk, right? So C++ knows how to do it. So in the behind the scene, C++ is what doing all this thing. Then at the top, we have something called Node core libraries. So this is what enables us to write JavaScript programs and run them on the desktop. Okay. Let us see a few important key points one by one. Number one, JavaScript is a language, but Node.js is not a language. Then what is Node.js? Node.js is an open source cross-platform JavaScript runtime. Okay, open source means it is available freely. Okay, you can download it, you can install it wherever you want. Cross-platform is it can be used in different platforms. It can be used in Windows, Linux, and so on. Runtime means it has V8 engine at the core. V8 engine is nothing but JavaScript runtime where my JavaScript code can be executed, right? So we can use Node.js for server side. So basically we are utilizing JavaScript language outside the browser in a different context. So that's why we can use it in server side. So server side development can be done using the same language called JavaScript. So let us discuss about npm registry. So it is very important. So initially when Node came into the market, it has a very few internal code libraries, okay? So npm registry is where Node module and packages that have been made publicly available by many different users. So here you will get more than thousands number of external module. Like I am showing MongoDB, it is one of them. So which you can make use of it, okay, like in order to connect database or in various purposes, okay. So now let us see whatever we have learned in this video just in few seconds, okay. So at the first we have learned something called JavaScript engine. We have seen a complete flow diagram, like how my code can be executed inside JavaScript engine, that is nothing but the part of runtime. After that we have seen like where is this JavaScript engine, this is nothing but inside a browser, okay. After that we have seen browser evolution, where we have seen like how Google Chrome owned the world because of the JavaScript engine, which was quite powerful in the other browser, okay. After that we have seen an observation. It was made by Rendell, an innovative brilliant mind. So he thought like we're not utilizing JavaScript properly because it can run only inside the browser, okay. So why can't we use it outside the browser, right? So then we have seen like how that was implemented, like how Rendell pull out the JavaScript engine from the browser into a different context outside the browser, and V8 engine was selected in that case as a JavaScript engine. Then we have seen like Node.js. What is Node.js? Okay, it's an open source, okay, runtime for JavaScript where JavaScript code can run outside the browser. Then we have seen architecture of Node.js, like what are the components that it's there inside Node.js, okay. Then we have learned about a few key points, like JavaScript is a language but Node.js is not a language, and how because of Node we can use the same language in different development, like both in front end and server side development. At the end we have seen npm registry. It's an ecosystem for Node, okay, where lots of packages, modules are made available publicly by different users. We can make use of it in different purposes, okay. So thanks for watching. I hope that you learned something new today. So if you have any doubt, any queries in this video, please let me know by giving a comment in the comment section. So for more videos you can follow my channel. So that's it for this video. Take care, tata, bye bye.